you for joining me for another episode of Tea Time with Brian. Today is a very rainy day, but we're here. We're making sure that we are paying attention to everything going on in Sine Die and the legislative session. So just wanted to, even though I'm in 10 different meetings at once, I wanted to make sure to join you guys today, have our little time together just so you know what is going on, what bills are being discussed today. We'll, give you an update on what bill was already passed last week, just to give you an update on all the crazy things that have been happening. And yeah, it's definitely going to be a very good live stream. It's going to be rather quick compared to the other ones because our cultural organizer, Alicia, would not be able to join us today. But definitely let's dive right in. Today I'm drinking coffee, not my usual tea, just because of the fact that it is going to be a long day. Like I mentioned, today is Sine Die, which is the last legislative day of the session. It is one of the days is very normally goes all the way till midnight because of the fact that today is the last day for any bills to come to the House floor or the Senate floor to be voted on in order for it to pass, or meaning go to the next legislative step, which is either being signed on or vetoed by the governor. So definitely wanted to watch out for that. There's a lot of different movements. Some of the ones that I definitely wanted to bring up to your attention that are currently definitely will be have traction today is House Bill 289. This one is, just to give you a quick overview, it pretty much incentivizes counties and local governments to crack down on protests, which is crazy, because this is something that should be encouraged. This is part of the First Amendment, so the fact that there can be any they're trying to crack down on a peaceful assembly blows my minds. And yeah, it's just one of those that just kind of makes you wonder, is this a reaction to the protests that we seen last summer? And I think we all know the answer, but definitely keep an eye out on for House Bill 289. It is definitely a bill that is still up for debate and is still will more than likely get traction today. Next, but definitely not least, is House Bill 479. This is a bill that has had a lot of talk since actually last year, but finally I feel like it has gained enough traction because of the unfortunate death of Ahmaud Arbery that happened in the state, and it would pretty much just repeal that the citizens arrest laws that Georgia has had since Jim Crow. So definitely it is sad that the law had to be gain traction and be made potentially into law or get very close to it with the death of the unnecessary loss of Ahmaud Arbery. But definitely a step in the right direction, so that is not repeated in the future. And yeah, so definitely make sure you watch out for that. It's a bill that we'll definitely be hearing about for the coming years, just because it's definitely going to change that, repeal that citizens arrest law. Another one that definitely it is very interesting how with this one specific, because it is Senate Bill 200, I think is very interesting how we focus on different things. I think that yes, we want to make sure we have a place to worship. We want to make sure that we have our religious community to congregate, but this bill would actually give it, to the right to operate even under emergency situations. And I think that's just irresponsible in the sense of like how, why would you put your fellow brothers and sisters in faith at risk, of a virus like we've seen for the last year, of, any other emergency, whether it be a hurricane, tornado, wildfire. And it's just, makes it to where you could congregate regardless of the situation that is currently happening. So it's one of those that it's like, what is the motive? Why is this happening? It should be the opposite, to where, yes, be mindful of your decisions, but also, why are we going to penalize, or give free range to these institutions to just do whatever they want? Just very interesting. It makes you kind of like say, So the one that is actually currently a bill that is currently being discussed in the floor, as I am talking to you right now, is Senate Bill 115. It is, to say that it's a very, I just keep it at this. It's a bill that has a lot of, how do I word it? Just takes responsibility from certain actors when it comes to just how, you and I, or just a regular person interacts with the police. And even though the law enforcement might be at fault, it places the blame on you, or on the individual that was interacting with the official. And it is a shame, because we have seen multiple time again that it is systemic, how this has been perpetuated. Let's not act like it is not something that has been proven time and time again. It is, to be just willfully, ignore the fact that this is happening. And now that this bill is, actually wanting to shelter the law enforcement to the level to where there's not going to be any responsibility, makes you once again wonder where the priorities are put by a lot of these lawmakers. Those are definitely the bills that I wanted to kind of shed a light on, because of the fact that they are more than likely going to have make an appearance today, from either this morning till 12 at night today. But one that definitely, I'm sure that even if if you're not even on social media, I'm sure you probably even heard about it, was the passage of Senate Bill 202, which if you guys had joined me for my prior live streams, how bad of the bill it was. And yeah, I think it is very interesting how fast the bill was signed by our fellow governor, Kemp. Yeah, and I just believe that I think that this is the bill that has had the fastest, track, or the fastest passage that I've witnessed in the last couple of years that I've been involved in the legislative session. But definitely one of the things that I wanted to make sure we talked about is the fact that there's a lot of other organizations, specifically voting rights groups, that we definitely call our friends, are actually going ahead and challenging this in court. This bill that was made into law by Governor Kemp signing the bill. It is definitely going to be very interesting to see how this goes about. And yeah, we'll definitely keep you updated on as this lawsuit progresses. But it is definitely something what I wanted to kind of bring up to you guys, so you guys can pay attention to it. We definitely condemn in prior specifically referring to this bill, we definitely condemn how the police officers from the state capitol handled Representative Cannon. Representative Park Cannon wanted to just be present in the room while Governor Kemp signed the bill, and because she knocked on the door, she was arrested, in charge, or taken to jail, excuse me. And it is something that is like, even as a representative, there's not, a level of respect or a level of, just wanting to make sure that you know what's going on. So it just kind of makes you think like, not every single person is treated like that, as we have seen back in January, and I'll leave it at that. Definitely before I leave, I wanted to make sure that I took the time to speak on Trans Day of Visibility, which is today, March 31st. It is a day to celebrate trans lives, listen to trans voices, as well as stand in solidarity with the trans community. And specifically, let's mention that, a lot of times people think that trans issues are pronouns and, bathrooms. But those are just such a minute part of how complex these issues are. Specifically, let's make sure that we are mindful of the fact that our trans family struggles with housing, as well as access to healthcare. So definitely it is a part that I want you guys to be mindful of. We're definitely standing with our trans family. You are loved. You whoever you are, however you choose to identify, you are valid, you are loved, and you belong everywhere, regardless of what anybody says. Trans is beautiful, and it's definitely something that we wanted to make sure we took a time to discuss. So thank you once again for joining me for another Tea Time with Brian. It is always a pleasure, and we'll make sure to continue bringing you the news, and it's definitely going to continue changing with the end of the legislative session. So we'll shift gears, but we want to make sure that we still keep you updated with everything Augusta, as well as just young people of color. So thank you so much for joining me, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you, and bye-bye.